Hey everybody, check it out. I'm back and I'm on top of a sculpture, obviously. I'm not joking around. In the world, there are many things, many spaces and lines, all being combined. And I'm here to talk about what's on my mind. And I'm going a little crazy thinking about this. I've been thinking about a lot. My head's been a little crazy, so bear with me. I'm not the best at talking, but I'll try. The reason I'm doing these videos is to improve that, create a pattern to follow. Alright? I understand myself a little bit. Alright? Of course, I don't want to get too uniform and boring, so I'll try to make it interesting. That's why I brought you to this spot. That's why I brought you here, to this little spot. This little spot that nobody cares about, alright? Nobody cares about this spot. And that's why I brought you here. Look at it. It offers a lot of different dimensions to the space, alright? You got the different forms, the different angles. You can walk through it. The energy's flowing into space, okay? And it's tracing the lines. The energy traces the lines. You got that? It's rusted. So that's pretty cool. You can stand on it, climb on it. And apparently, I don't think anybody cares if you do that. I think it's alright. There's no red tape or stripe tape or whatever keeping you out. So why not? Look at this! It's a bit windy, so this place is a little bit sheltered behind some plants. It's kind of blocking the wind, so hopefully that prevents any distortion to the audio. Don't want any distortion getting through, cutting off the signal while I'm trying to speak. In life there's lots of signals. An airplane, another sound in space, disrupting the signal. What I'm trying to get at is I'm onto something. I'm onto something, okay? There is something going on in this world with all the grids, the matrix. There's another airplane, and the patterns. You got airplanes going every single minute. That's a pattern. You got the wind blowing. That's another pattern, but it's a very fluid pattern. Just like the seasons, it goes warm, cold, warm, cold. It repeats, all right? Just like the lines in the sculpture repeat in certain ways, okay? You got this circle here, this curve, and you got the curves imitated over here, and you got the angles down here, like a rectangle, basically. That's what it is. It's an elongated rectangle. And again, over here, you got the parallel lines, but they're curved around. So it's kind of like a long rectangle that's been kind of stretched out and bent in different directions and ways, okay? And it also kind of looks like a water pattern, like a wave. And you got the water behind it behind the plants over there in the pond. I don't know what that is. I guess it's some like man-made pond or something. But anyways, you got these lines, the contours of the sculpture, and then you have this trail that goes around the park. That's another line, okay? That's another line that people follow, all right? Just like the lines on the contours of the sculpture, your eyes follow them. The lines on this lamp post thing, your eye follows up. There's a light there, emitting light everywhere in every direction. That's interesting, just like the sun does it, okay? Now, so now, even you got the plants. The plants are made out of these stems and branches, okay? Those are another structure, a skeleton, okay? Something that keeps the shape, all right? And it allows the energy to flow, okay? The energy to flow, all right? The energy's flowing into space, okay? And it's tracing the lines. The energy traces the lines. You got that? I'm not joking around here. This is deep stuff that people don't realize is going on around them. But it's happening everywhere. It's like a fractal, all right? Grids inside of grids. Energy flowing through all the grids in different directions, okay? That's what creates the movement, the distortion effect. If the grid isn't crystallized in a uniform pattern, it breaks. It like dissolves. Okay? Now what is creating the crystallization of the pattern? What is creating that? Alright? There's something there. Something very important that people don't realize. Most people don't realize it, okay? Because they're all concerned with nothing. Alright? They're concerned about nothing. They try to escape it, alright? They try to escape the nothingness that surrounds them, that they're afraid of, that's eating them alive, okay? It's eating them alive! I'm not joking around. And I'm going a little crazy thinking about this. That's what it does. Luckily, I've got a little control over myself, alright? I understand myself a little bit, alright? And that's why I brought you here to this little spot that nobody cares about, alright? Nobody cares about this spot, and that's why I brought you here. Look at it. It's here. It's still here. The remnants are here. All the remnants of life are here, everywhere. This structure, the pattern, is a skeleton. It's a, I don't know. There's a lot of words for it. There's a lot of words for the same things, just said in different ways, in different patterns, different materials, different textures. It's all the same thing, okay? I want to show you things you haven't seen before. I want to make you think about stuff you haven't thought about before. I want to open your eyes. I want to open your mind. I want to make you think and maybe realize what's going on. A lot of people don't know how to treat themselves. You know, it's your behavior is a pattern, okay? You start realizing what you can do to change it. But it's all a process, and you got to know what you're doing, okay? You can't let it be subconscious, because then you have no control. And what I'm trying to do here is show you what is in control. All right? What is in control here? What is in control? Something's in control of everything around us. What control do we have? What control do we have? These planes, man, I don't know what to think about these planes. They just keep going and going and going across the sky. Across the sky. People just jumping on in those planes, going straight up into the sky. Look at these things. Little pine cone type of stuff on these this pine tree. I think it's a pine tree. I don't know what it is. Some sort of plant life. So, like, I guess if you want to do like an interpretation of the pine cone, you could say that's like a human being right there, hanging on to life. Hanging on to life so drastically that they're stuck there. They're just stuck. And they're drying up. And eventually they just fall off because they can't take it anymore. And they hit the ground. And its cycle continues. But also what's interesting is everybody is attached to the same tree. The tree of life. And that tree of life is attached to the universe. The ground. That solid ground. Solid space. Space is solid. It's not empty. It's solid. It's solid. We think it's empty because we can't see it. But it's there, everywhere. Solid. Solid space. You want to know how important skeletons are? Structure, geometry. I'll show you. Even life, plants, they need it to grow. Alright? As you can see here, you got this vine organism, this vine plant, and it wraps itself around this skeleton fence structure, this geometric pattern that's rigid, provides support, plenty of support, so that it doesn't fall and collapse. All right, even the organism has cells, cellular body to it that provides a rigid structure for the space, the energy, the solid space to fill it. All right, and feel the form, the formula, the formation. All right, pattern, behavior comes alive with the energy, the solid space energy. See, there's some spikes on the wire up there. See the spikes? So the skeleton also provides protection, keeps things safe, keeps other things from entering, right? Has this boundary, this barrier, kind of protects the energy, the space, the structures within, because it's all matrix. It's all a fractal. You got grids within grids, each supporting the bigger structure on the outside and also protecting the structure on the inside. So yeah, it's everywhere. Can you see it? I could see it. When you find the small spots to get into, you kind of allow yourself to sink into all the details. You start seeing things you haven't seen before. Things you walked by in the past become so much more interesting because you've put yourself into it, right? You're putting yourself into the world. And when you do that, it feeds you energy, right? You become one with it. That wind, the atmosphere, that space kind of fills you up. You're like a sponge, all right? The world's like a sponge. But sometimes you don't know where you are. You're so buried in stuff. And when you're buried, sometimes it feels too much. It's too heavy. That's when you gotta climb out. You gotta head to the top in order to see where you are and where you can go and what's happening around you. Only at the top can you see the horizon. You see where all the lines are being directed, right? Some water flowing. Water. Everywhere in the structure. So as you've seen with my previous videos, maybe you haven't watched them, maybe you have. I don't have that many views. And one thing I'm trying to do is increase that to get the word out, because I'm onto something important, all right? Something really deep and interesting that most people don't understand. They don't understand it because if they did, they would act differently. They'd be doing things differently. And they wouldn't just be following along. There's another airplane. Now, I'm here to try and change that. I'm trying to change the world, hopefully. We'll see how much we can change, but you got to start small. And well, at least in my case, that's the case. Okay, and I feel like something can be done, and it has to be done. Now, what the heck am I talking about? Right? What the heck am I talking about? Right? Okay, so I don't know if you noticed this before, but there goes another airplane.